This part's always so awkward. You want to do it?
Hello?
Okay, no.
People!
I don't know if we're going to make it.
Okay, we're ready. I got it. Let's go.
You're listening to the Calm,
The Storm,
The Whimsy
podcast. So how was everybody's week this week?
I dressed up like Hulk Hogan this week.
Oh my, that's right.
I did.
You're out of control.
So my week consisted of going to a WrestleMania party, dressing my whole family up, and making shirts the day of the WrestleMania party. And then I decided to put this random doll head my niece gave me all around the house to scare everybody. So we've been playing tricks on each other all week. So it's been a fun week over here.
And here I am trying to scare you with the doll face, and nothing happened.
Did you get scared when you came down?
I did, actually.
She got scared.
I was like, whoa, what's that face?
I'll tell you, she wanted me to participate. She's like, let's hide that head. I said, absolutely not. I will not be a part of any pranks with you against her after we failed our prank against you.
Don't worry, we'll get you.
We will.
And you're a little dog, too.
No, not my dog.
Oh my gosh. My week was good. I love the eclipse. That was amazing.
Forgot about that. That was awesome.
It was not what I was expecting it to be. I mean, I knew it would be cool, but I didn't know like how amazing it would be. Yeah. And I had a meltdown right after it was over because my husband had to travel for work, so he didn't get to experience it, and I felt guilty for watching it without him.
And then what happened?
I don't know what happened.
Your children rolled in paint.
Oh, yeah. When I get sad, apparently I say yes to everything. So they said, can we play, what's that game called? Twister in paint. And I'm like, sure. I'm picturing like hands and feet in paint. They were covered from head to toe. Their hair was painted. Their bodies were painted. Their faces were painted. It took me 2.5 hours to shower them after that. But I didn't cry anymore. They were happy.
You said yes.
I did say
I
yes.
should have just texted Tori when I knew you were upset and be like, hey, tell your mom to book a Disney trip.
Okay, yes, let's go. Do whatever you say.
Some cookie dough.
No cookie dough.
Speaking of, I can tell you about my week. So I had a very busy week. Still a little bit sick, but I'm doing much better. And the eclipse was amazing. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, and the fact that we were, like, in the path of totality, like, what in the world?
And in Ohio. Like,
right?
the chances of a sunshiny day, like, the day after, there would have been no way we would have seen it.
And, like, the morning of, it was so cloudy. It was ridiculous. I was afraid that it was going to be cloudy and rainy and yucky, and it was beautiful.
Breathtaking.
It really was. And it was just a few seconds of it, but it was amazing.
It was. It was pretty amazing. How are challenges going? Any updates?
I struggled this week. I bought a box of chocolate chicks, and I ate some of them.
Oh.
But
how much is some of them?
I didn't eat the whole box.
But Eliza did, because she gave them to her.
Oh, man. We all have a problem with those. But I tried to do well. I ate decent, but I can definitely do better. So I need to get it together. And I did run a couple times.
Awesome.
But it's only not compared to you. It's like a half a mile, and I feel like I'm dying every time.
Stop. A half a mile is a check in my book for you. Good job.
Does running out a pair of knee pads and shorts count to my mailbox as a run? Because I did that this morning before church.
What's the knee pads?
It was for Tori. Hillary.
Running
I needed them, so she ran from her house
to the mailbox.
That's a pretty long driveway.
I thought that
you actually
were saying
run?
that you were wearing...
Lenny was like, what are you doing? Because he was upstairs getting ready, and he saw me, like, running down the driveway and then coming back. I mean, I took a brisk walk. I wouldn't say it was running.
Hey, any exercise is worth a check,
That's
right?
true, yeah.
You gotta finish your week. What did you do? Yesterday morning.
That was part of my challenge. So, yes, I ran a 5K yesterday with my son, who's 13, and the most exciting part about the entire 5K was this 5K, the Kent State Black Squirrel 5K, was the first 5K that I ran when I was training, when I started running, and he was 3 months old.
Aww.
So this was like full circle that we got to run it together. He definitely beat me, but it was super fun. It was awesome.
Do you have a picture of that when he was 3 months old that you could put them side by side? Because that'd be really cool.
Do somewhere, yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think Aaron has it on his computer.
So you already ran a 5K after the first initial, like, that was your challenge. So Aaron was apparently correct about it not being a big challenge for you.
Yeah, I finished.
Nice. Well, I had some good days and I had some bad days, I'm not going to lie. But today I had a really good day. I decided to start intermittent fasting. And my hubby and I talked last night about how we need to start going to bed earlier. And because I stay up till like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I also only drank 2 Diet Cokes today.
Oh.
That's awesome.
It's actually a really big deal. And I drank a ton of water. But now I'm going to have to pee like 4 times during this.
Yeah, it's all good.
Anything else? Go on.
Sometimes I just have to, like, put things on my paper so I remember them
So you
later.
can make fun of me later? Sounds great, because I know that's what's coming.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, you two. Stop it. This is my experience with them when I first started working with them. They have, like, these arguments and these disagreements. And I'm like, guys, I don't know what's happening, but I thought we were all friends.
We are friends. We fight like an old married couple. It's fine.
Yep.
And then I realized it's okay. It's okay. So I just wanted to take a moment to update you on some really cool things that are happening with our podcast. First of all, I wanted to shout out to our very first subscriber, Stephanie Blocker.
Woo, 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 woo.
Thank you for all your support. That's super exciting. And if you're interested in supporting our podcast, check out the support the show link in our show notes. We'll be excited to shout out your name as well. A few more things to be excited about. This is our 10th episode that's going to publish.
That's amazing.
The statistics say that most podcasts don't make it past 3 episodes.
Nice.
And here we are, number 10.
Yay.
We are very excited to announce that we have 669 downloads of our podcast.
It's amazing.
Right? 669, and we're thankful for all of our listeners that have provided us with those downloads.
Yes.
If you haven't listened to our other episodes, please do. Stay tuned for some exciting announcements and changes coming to our podcast in May. So we're going to discuss one of the activities that unites us all.
Sleep.
Whether you're a night owl or an early bird, we've all wrestled with the blanket at some point, trying to catch some Z's. So fluff up your pillows and get comfy as we journey into the night and discover more about the one activity that we can't live without. So I did a little bit of research this week, and I thought it was interesting. And I looked up the definition of sleep. I've never really looked up the definition of sleep before because it's just something that we do, and it's obviously a natural thing that happens all the time. And so it was interesting to me. It says, a condition of the body and mind that typically reoccurs for several hours every night, in which the eyes are closed, the muscles are relaxed, the activity of our brain is altered, and the consciousness of our surroundings are practically suspended. So I never thought of sleep as being like everything around me is practically suspended.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of creepy. Like when you think about it, like when you're sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
what goes on?
Oh.
Right? I was like creeped out by it. I'm like, I'm not sure I want to close my eyes tonight.
Oh, no.
Okay. We're not going to sleep now.
Your brain is altered, which I guess is probably why the dreams happen and so forth. But what a weird feeling.
Even after you defined it, I didn't think of it that way until you repeated what you were thinking.
Sorry.
Thanks
Not to
for
scare you or
that.
anything. Sleep well tonight.
Oh, my goodness. For how long? How long do you sleep?
Ooh. My sleep app says that I sleep for 7 hours.
Oh.
Oh, what sleep app?
So on the iPhone, there's like
Do you like sleep
different
with your phone so it knows?
No, so I set it. So like I set for my bedtime to be 10:30, and then my wake up time is 6:30. But I think that it knows when I turn my alarm off or when I so I have like a 45-minute window to like settle into sleep. So like 10:30 is the start of that. And so it says like 7 hours. Now, that's just my sleep app. Do I always go to bed at 10:30? No.
So do you think you get that much sleep on a regular basis?
No.
No.
So that's my sleep app. I think that I get probably like 6 hours of sleep a night. How about you?
I'm probably between 7 and 8 hours of sleep, I would think.
Wow.
Yeah.
What time do you go to bed?
I don't know. I usually try to be in bed
I don't know.
I usually try to be in bed by 11, and then I'm up
Lindsay
by
does
7.
not know when she goes to bed.
I don't know these things. I try to go to bed by 11 and then up by 7:30.
Okay.
I sleep like 5 to 6 hours a night usually. Sometimes less.
Do you actually get that much?
Sometimes less, yeah.
Okay.
It just depends. I definitely need more sleep than that, but I don't do it like I should. Do you get cranky when you don't sleep more than 6 hours, or is that good for you?
I think 6 hours is probably good for me. Anything less than that, I as an adult, I get cranky, but when I was younger, I could go off of like no sleep at all.
Yeah.
I would stay up till like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I would get up for work at like 7.
So it's funny how like different phases of life and the amount of sleep that you get. So like when Lenny and I were dating, we would stay up till like 4 in the morning, and I had to get up at 6, and I had a big girl job. I worked at an architectural firm where I did interior design and drafted layouts of stores, and here I am up till 4, got up at 6 and went about my whole day, and I was like on cloud 9, happy as can be.
And then you would do it again the next night.
Yes.
Because that's exactly what I would do.
But then when I had babies, and my babies were up like every 45 minutes because I'd feed them all the time. I don't know what I was thinking. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? But now I usually our kids still tend to come in every now and then and crawl in bed with us. But now the sleep's way better than it used to be. But if I don't get like 7 to 8 hours, I'm just sluggish and kind of cranky.
Same. I just want to stay in bed.
Yeah. I feel like I can make it for a lot of days with 5 to 6 hours of sleep. But if I start to do too much of that or get less than that, I get real mean and emotional, and everything makes me sad.
Then you get sick usually if you're staying up and working yourself to death.
Yeah, I do. So I'm obviously a night owl.
I was just going to say, are you a natural early riser or are you a night owl?
Night owl. I've always been a night owl. I hate getting up in the morning.
Same.
I always have.
I would love to stay up all night and sleep in all day.
Yeah.
See, I don't think that's me. I usually
what do you think?
I get up early. Like
naturally? Like
yeah, like I mean
if
not
you didn't
early,
set
not like
an alarm,
5:30.
What time would you wake up?
7.
Really?
Oh,
6:45. 7.
Okay, so like if I did not have any
Maybe
responsibility,
8:30.
Noon for
sure. No way.
I couldn't stay in bed till noon, but at least
never.
9.
I could.
Yeah.
I
mean,
could not.
when I was a teen, I would definitely sleep till noon. 1, maybe 2. But like, no, my body will naturally wake up probably around 9.
Okay.
I could still sleep till noon if I had no responsibility.
Wow.
But see now.
But you go to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
True.
I could sleep in longer, but it's like if I don't get up, I don't have any quiet time because I homeschool 4 kids.
Yeah.
So and I run them all over. I mean, we all do that.
So I actually get up at 6:30 to say goodbye to my son when he leaves for school.
Oh my gosh.
And then I go back to bed until 7:30. 7:45. And 7:45 is pushing it to get my other kids up ready for school, but I definitely go back to bed.
Yeah.
So something just fell from the light.
Were
I
you
think
a little
it's
distracted?
a piece of rice. I don't know.
piece of rice?
That's not that.
So what was it then?
It was like a little tiny bug, not a piece of rice.
Oh, yeah, that was just a little...
There was a piece of rice right there.
Rice is falling from the ceiling.
From our newborn props, I think.
Oh, my gosh.
So what is your ideal sleeping scenario, like situation, environment?
I want it to be cold.
Like Arctic or cold?
Very cold, freezing. But I want to be able to dress in tons of layers. I don't want to dress for warm sleep environment. I want it to be really cold.
Okay.
And I want to layer up.
Okay, so can you tell us how and what you wear to bed?
No suit, Eskimo boots.
No. It's actually
gloves.
not that bad. I actually get a little...
But Chris does because he has to deal with it.
Yes. He'll like be like, I get cramps in the middle of the night. It's so cold. But, I mean, it's not that much. I just wear like fleece pajama pants, a tank top, a hoodie.
A hoodie.
Yeah.
To bed.
I
Or
have
a
a question.
Don't you feel like you get wrapped up in your blanket?
I'd like to be wrapped up in my blanket.
I mean, like tangled.
Okay,
No.
but I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you're probably going to get mad.
Great.
So, if Chris is freezing and you're wearing like a hoodie and pants, what
Yeah.
if you wore shorts and a t-shirt and turn the temperature down so your husband's not...
So that he's not chattering his teeth.
I think I'd still get hot. And I have to have a blanket because I don't feel safe without a blanket. If I have one toe not covered, I think something's gonna get me.
Ooh,
Do you feel
like
less?
what?
I don't know, whatever is
Out there. Whatever is
suspended.
practically suspended while we are sleeping.
Yeah. Like if
The
my
spiders?
Yeah, but
Or
if
like a
no,
person?
like a monster.
Ooh, under your bed. You need monster spray or something.
Yeah, but if
Naomi has some of that.
But if my
She can
foot
hook
is
you up.
covered, the monsters aren't there. It's just
Okay.
if any of my body is revealed.
That was the bed monster.
There
that
was
just got her.
nothing okay about what you just did. My eyes were closed. I was telling a story that was wrong. Wrong. I just screamed. Sorry, people.
We aren't live, remember?
Doesn't matter. It's going to be there.
Goodness.
What about you, Miss Thing?
What?
How do you sleep? Is Lenny completely content with your sleeping choices?
Wait. I need to go back real quick. So I need to go back and ask a question. How do you keep your room so cold?
Okay, so we're downstairs.
Temperature.
So it's naturally cold anyway down there. Colder than upstairs.
Sure.
It's not, I guess it's not like that cold. I just prefer it to be cold. It's probably like 68.
How many Diet Cokes do you have stashed in your room?
She's just in the mood to make fun of me
I'm
tonight.
just kidding.
Can we proceed? Okay. So
I want to know if Lenny is perfectly happy all the time with your sleeping conditions.
No, because I snore sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So my husband...
That's because he was cold.
And yours can't sleep because you're like...
I don't snore all the
So
time.
you snore and have mouth tape on.
I don't have mouth. I need to get some. I just haven't. I haven't put the purchase. I haven't hit that button.
in the
because
cart.
it's like $14.
It's in the cart.
It is.
So do I need to just push the button for you?
Maybe if you had some mouth tape, he'd be happier at night.
I don't really snore though very much. We had this discussion before this. He said when you're pregnant you snore and when you're sick, but not very often in between.
I snore if I get disturbed. Like
I think I'm
if
a
my
snorer.
sleep gets disturbed by a kid, like one of our kids wakes up or something, and then I have to go into the room and then I come back, then I just don't sleep very well. So I feel like I snore then. But okay, back to what is your favorite environment to sleep in?
Yes, please
Whimsy.
tell us. Hot, cold.
Just like cool, not like hot.
Okay. What's cool?
What's cool?
Just like normal, like I don't know, like
What are you wearing?
like our temperature, like our thermostat set
Are
at
you
like
wearing a
67.
hoodie? Because
No,
I just don't understand. I can't. I
like
can't
a
figure it
t-shirt
out.
and
Okay.
pajama pants and a fan
Pants.
on.
Better be careful asking what we're wearing.
I know. Pants.
Pajama pants.
Don't you feel like you get tangled?
In pajama pants?
Yes.
Pajama pants? No.
Don't they get all twisted on you?
Well, that's a nightgown.
Your body.
Nightgowns do that.
Do you wear nightgowns?
When I was like
Oh,
4.
a moo-moo?
Okay. No, not good.
No.
Not gowns.
No, nightgown.
No nightgowns for me.
Do you have monsters under your bed?
I hope not.
Do you cover your feet?
Not all the time.
Do you sleep with socks?
No.
I can't sleep with socks.
No way. Mm-hmm. Only if I'm at like a creepy hotel and I'm like, I'm going to keep it all.
That's when I will wear the hoodie.
Yes, and the socks.
Bed. Yes,
yep.
and the pajama pants.
Oh my gosh. What do you wear?
So I usually just wear a tank top and shorts.
Okay. Because that doesn't get tangled.
No, I do. I have an issue. Specific environment would be cool, for sure. So we sleep with our window open all winter.
Okay.
Whoa, that's too
See?
cool.
Yeah.
You're not a bad wife because of it? Good to know.
Say you were a bad
because
wife.
my husband is like a furnace.
Oh.
So I am sweating because like his body radiates heat. Sidebar.
Was the window open last night?
I don't even want you to know what I was thinking. All I can think about is furnace, red hair.
Is this happening?
I said sidebar.
Oh. I feel terrible right now. I wasn't making fun of you. When you're talking about how cold it is, I'm like, oh, I wonder if the Diet Coke should be cold. And you could just open them and drink them. They'd be like, cool. It's cold.
Listen,
No one else would ask that question except for you, Whimsy.
What, about the Diet Coke?
Yes,
Cold?
yes,
But that's
yes.
probably why it was
This
down
is
there. Like,
the
if I keep
thing.
it here in the laundry, it'll just be chilly when I'm
what
ready.
makes us us is how you make fun of me. It's fine.
But I don't mean to make fun of you. I love you.
My heart is not hurt.
Okay.
I'm fine.
She has taken a lot over the years.
She really has.
But you
okay.
have too, because
Yeah.
I can be a brat.
Okay.
Can't we all?
Okay, sorry about that, dude.
Okay. Back on.
Can we talk about our husband's sleep quirks for a minute?
Okay.
Sure.
So my husband, when he sleeps, he does really weird things sometimes.
Like?
So when we just had Eliza, I had the ironing board up, and there was clothes on the end of it. Because who has time to actually do everything when you have a newborn?
I've never used an ironing board.
Are you
in
kidding
my
me?
whole life.
Oh my god.
That's what the dryer's for. Wrinkle spray, dryer.
I don't have wrinkle spray. Maybe I need some.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
you
need
do.
to invest in it.
Okay. So
Best
anyway, the
thing ever.
ironing board was up.
It also makes your clothes smell good too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Febreze and a wrinkle.
So in the middle of the night, you know that time where you get like a little bit of sleep when you have a newborn because they always want a nurse. I'm sleeping and he goes, huh? Eliza, what? The baby on the ironing board. And I'm like, what? She's not on the ironing board. She's right here. Oh, okay. So then fast forward
Wait,
years.
does he just go right back to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fast forward, and I don't, because I'm like, was she on the ironing board? What's happening?
How did that happen?
She wasn't covered all the way.
So then, fast forward years later, this is before Eliza, before we had kids. We got 2 Italian Greyhounds because, I had to have my dogs. So I get these 2 dogs. And I'm like, we cannot let them sleep with us because they'll never get out of the bed. So they're sleeping in the crate, whining. Night 2, Lenny's like, I can't take it anymore.
It's his fault.
He brought them in the bed.
Stop
And they're
it.
like 2 pounds apiece. And I'm like, he's going to roll on them. Somebody's going to get killed.
Stop.
Yes. So anyway, it was our first night of like sleep because they actually slept. So then, like the next day, he's like, gets up and he's like trying to grab the nightstand. And I'm like, what? He goes, the pups. And I'm like, the pups? And then he starts reaching towards the ceiling fan. I had to grab him and say, stop. His hand, he thought they were hanging from the ceiling fan.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, like, when we got married, I knew, like, not only just the weird things that he senses at night, like, he also had, like, spiritual warfare stuff going on. So I'm like, I don't want to know if you sense somebody in this room. Don't tell me. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So
Oh, no.
a lot of times,
Out.
like,
You're out.
his mind messes with them, but sometimes he, like, feels that. I'm like, I can't do that. I don't want to know if you see some white ghost or, like, SpongeBob.
In his
I don't want to
sleep?
know they're in our room.
SpongeBob.
So anyway, yeah.
SpongeBob's in your room?
No, I just didn't know what all that was the first. Why? I don't even like SpongeBob. But anyway.
Speaking of funny story, I have one too.
Okay.
Of Aaron. So our first night after we got married, we were staying in a hotel up in Cleveland before we left for our honeymoon. So we were in bed, and it was the middle of the night, and he wakes up, and he was like, "Whoa!" And he's like grabbing at his legs, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? And he's like, the ants are on my legs. And
What's
I was
the deal
like,
with the ants?
Aaron, you
and
get
I
it.
said, what? Ants? And he's like, he turns and he looks at me and he's like, who are you? And I was like, your wife? We just got married.
Oh my gosh.
And it was the most bizarre thing ever. He has never done anything since then, but it was the strangest thing. So then the next morning I asked him about it, and he was like, we were at the altar, and that there was ants crawling up my legs while we were like at the altar kneeling down while we were getting married in his dream. And that's what was going on. And I was like,
my.
well, he scared me to death, and then he didn't know who I was.
So did he just go to sleep right after that?
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Oh my
Why
god.
can't he just go
like
to sleep?
a dream experience. Like, nothing was said to me after that. Nothing.
Wow.
It was the most weird thing.
Yeah.
One night he just got up, like scared, and started walking around. And I'm like, if I get up, he's probably going to kill me.
Oh my gosh.
Like, wake up, what are you doing? Or he'll just sit up in bed and like look around and jerk his body around. And I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. He goes back to bed and I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
It's a fun
my
time.
goodness.
Wow. Does your husband have any sleep?
So it's actually me.
Oh yes.
So he has had a couple dreams where like he's kicked our nightstand and like the whole thing shook because he was fighting a bad guy. And one time I woke up to him actually kicking me in my leg, and I asked him the next day, I don't know if I've ever told you this, Kelly, what was that about? He said, I don't know, I was kicking someone out of Russ and Linda's house.
Oh
He
my
was like
goodness.
protecting them.
Oh.
But I have had some interesting moments. So the one that stands out to me the most is I lived in Colorado. My Aunt Julie came to visit us, and I shared a bedroom with my brother and my sister because we lived in a travel trailer. And so the way that the beds were, like, help me. One went...
So it was three?
Staggered.
They were staggered.
Yes, thank you. 3 staggered bunk beds. And I was on the middle one, so like when you sit up, your feet dangle over the side.
Okay.
My Aunt Julie was on the bottom one.
Wait, Aunt Julie was there?
Yeah, she came to visit.
Oh, okay.
So she was sleeping on the bottom bunk, and I was on the middle one. And there was a nightlight all the way over in the corner. And she said I sat up, and my feet, this is going to creep you out, my feet were dangling over the side of the bed, and my eyes were wide, and I wasn't blinking. So, like, I was, like, wide awake, but I wasn't awake. I don't remember it at all. I just remember the story, and she said I was just, like, mumbling, like,
okay.
and I kept doing it over and over and over and over, and she finally goes, Hillary, what is wrong? And my head jerks over, and I look at her, and I point to the nightlight, and I say, fire! She said she
Oh my goodness.
jumped out of her bed and ran as fast as she could to my mom. And she's like, I can't sleep with her. She's freaking me out. I don't know what's going on. And I don't remember that at all.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I've had my own experience
Same.
with Hillary.
Oh, have
No,
you?
not with Hillary. I was going to tell you about my own experience.
Okay, you
No,
go.
go right ahead.
Okay, so back in the day, Hillary and I were friends, and it was before
Back
we were
then
going...
we were friends.
Well, we were friends, but we were friends like a long time ago. Was it before we went to Florida? Or you were just
That
at my
was
house?
the night before the trip.
Okay, so we were getting ready to go to Florida on a vacation down there into Disney. That's
Where it starts, huh?
Oh my gosh.
So anyway,
I'm the reason she loves Disney.
we're
so-
sleeping in my room,
Oh.
and she's like, "It's so hot in here." I do remember that.
See?
So that should have been like.
Did she
For
start
number
taking
one.
her clothes off?
So then we're sleeping, and she goes, "My life is like a suitcase," and I'm like, huh? It's like a suitcase? She goes, my life is like a suitcase, and it's opened up, and everybody's looking inside. And I'm like,
Oh my god.
Aunt Julie, help me!
Oh man.
insightful.
Well, I was going through some stuff then, but
wow.
That's been a phrase she has never let go of.
It's crazy.
I was on a women's retreat, and I was sharing a bed with my mom's friend, and I sat up, leaned over top of her, and was shaking her. Donna, wake up. And she woke up, and she's like, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. And I went right back to bed. She was like, what? And I never said anything else about it. And the next morning she asked me about it, and I was like, kind of remember it, but, like, I don't know what I needed to tell you. It was strange, so.
I have to share one retreat story, sleep video that I have. Video.
You're gonna share a sleep video?
Okay, story. We were at a retreat with a lot of people we didn't know. It was like a bunch of different churches coming together.
Oh, yeah.
And we could not, after this one, like, service, we weren't allowed to talk. We had to go to bed. So, like, I go to bed.
Okay, but it was supposed to be like not like we were in trouble. You're not allowed to talk. It was like...
Right. Go and reflect.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Spend some time with God, just reflect. So we go to bed, okay? And the way the place is set up, there's, like, all these different rooms. So I'm laying there in these, like, camp bunks, and it's just kind of awkward. And I'm just laying there, and I see this woman walking. She must have got up to go to the bathroom. She comes into the room, and I'm like, oh, no. She crawled into bed with me because she was in the wrong room. And I didn't want to say anything because I'm like, this is awkward. I would be like, hey. Like, everybody else is sleeping. I couldn't sleep. This lady sits in, puts her feet down, starts to lay down, and I'm, like, up against the wall, like, oh, please, don't just fall asleep. I'm going to be laying there all night. And then she hit my water bottle. She's like, whoop, and got up and went away. I don't know who it was. Oh, gosh.
You still don't know to this day who it was?
No, because there was people from all over.
And
there was
dark, probably,
there was like
you were
4
sleeping.
rooms off this center room. So
oh my
like
gosh.
she just walked into the wrong one and went to her
bed
and got in bed with me.
I wish she would have slept there all night.
I would have been so uncomfortable.
Amazing.
She wouldn't know what to do.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me.
I'm not
so
allowed to
glad
talk
my
to
water
anyone.
bottle was there.
I'm not allowed to talk to anyone, but
woman.
you're in my bed.
And the next day they're like, did you meet anybody new? Well,
like, oh, yes,
Cheryl
I did.
came into my bed last night. 2 in the morning.
Oh.
What about your kids?
Well,
first we got some crazy stories.
Gosh. Yes. First, I have to tell you, I was on a missions trip in Russia. This was one other crazy story I have about myself. And we were on bunk beds, and there was a girl on our team that tells
bunk beds.
I know, that tells this story about how she woke up in the middle of the night, like flying up and down in her bed because I was pushing on it. The luggage is falling. The luggage is falling. I don't remember. But she's like,
oh my goodness.
She's like, I literally like had to hold on for dear life because I was like flying up and down in my bed. I thought all the luggage was falling down on top of me. I'm glad
you
should fall out of that bed.
Sleep
no
in
bunk
a bunk
beds.
bed.
Well, apparently that's what it is.
Yeah.
Wow, trauma.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, my kids talk in their sleep and walk in their sleep, but you've got stories that beat me.
One night, our son walks downstairs. He is clearly asleep, but I don't know. Like, this is like our first experience with him having sleepwalking issues. And so he walks down the steps, and he's in the living room, and he starts, like, shaking and flapping his arms, and he says to us, I'm upside down, my body is upside down, I bit the bird's head, it's in my mouth, I don't know what to do. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I hit the floor, and I was like, Lord Jesus, get this demon out of my son. And my husband was like, get off the floor right now, he's sleepwalking. And I was like, oh, I don't know what is happening, I do not like this. It was bizarre.
How old was he?
Come out!
He was in 3rd grade, so he was probably what, 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, 9.
Oh, so good.
It was actually considered night terrors.
Oh, yeah, Nora's had
So, and it lasted for a while. Finally, he's grown out of it. Now, he still sleepwalks, but he doesn't have the terrors of
those
where
are
he's
scary.
like scared.
Yeah.
Those are scary.
And the best thing you can do is just Put him back to bed.
Put him back to bed. Well, the worst part about him is he will not just go back to bed.
Oh.
So, like, he'll get back up again when he was afraid. Now, we wake him up and we give him, like, a cracker or a drink, and he wakes up. We always ask him a couple questions, like, what's your name? Who's the president? Like, all these things. And one night, his answer was Fortnite skin. That was who the president was.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, yeah, you're not awake yet.
You're not awake yet. I'm awake.
Yeah,
He'll always argue with us.
I had night terrors too. It was awful.
Oh, why do they have them?
I don't know, but you can't wake them up.
You can't. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Scary. So blankets. I think we kind of touched on it, but I don't know for sure. How do we sleep with your blanket? I know Hillary needs a blanket. I like to have my blanket. I also sleep with one foot out so I can regulate my body temperature.
Oh.
I know.
Now you
The
won't.
monster is going to get me
It's
one
possible.
night. And Kelly, blankets. I do not want the blanket over my head.
What?
Why would you have a
I
blanket
don't
over
put a
your
blanket
head?
over my head.
People sleep with blankets on their head.
No.
Aaron
No
sleeps
way.
with it up, like,
I put it up to my,
I'll sleep with it close, but I don't want it over my head.
but I have to have a sheet.
And a
sheet,
blanket?
And then
Oh
the
my
blanket.
gosh, now you are tangled.
Okay,
What?
but do you leave the sheet tucked into the bed?
No.
Oh, okay.
But-
you don't have to get angry
No.
about it. I was just curious.
Well, it's not like tucked, like my mommy didn't come in and like tuck aside.
Well, is that
So
not
maybe
how
Lenny
you,
did.
Like, you don't make your bed like that? The sheet isn't tucked in?
At the bottom, but not on the side.
So does it stay tucked in on the bottom?
Yes.
Because I cannot stand that.
Oh, it has to stay tucked in.
No.
Oh, I can't have a sheet at all. No top
It just makes
sheet.
it easier to make it in the morning.
No.
Who makes their bed?
I don't make my bed.
Every morning.
I
No.
make my bed every morning.
No.
If I don't, Aaron does. So either one of
I
us,
have to make
we
the
always
bed.
make the bed. Oh.
Lenny's usually the first one out of bed, so it's usually whoever gets up last has to
Same.
make
But
it.
would he make the bed?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Aaron
He tries.
always
Pulls the
makes the
covers
bed if I don't.
I'm not.
And
I
if a
don't care.
kid comes in my bed, I always say, you got to help make this bed if you're in it. I can't have an unmade bed.
Do you let your kids stay in your bed all night?
I do. If they come in
Ooh.
because they're scared.
I let them come in, and then I usually will walk them back to their bed, sleep with them a little bit in their bed, and then I go back to my bed. Because we're not sleeping in the same bed all night, because I will sweat to death.
So Ike had issues this week because he was scared trying to go to bed. And Lenny and I were watching a show, so I'm like, you know what? Just go upstairs and, like, lay in our bed. We have 12 minutes. Just go lay in our bed till we come back. And he's like, all right. So he goes up there, and I hear, "Ma!" Like, a few minutes later, Mom! And I'm like, oh, crap, I put that doll head under Lenny's blanket.
Oh,
So
my
he was
gosh.
laying in the bed and turned over, and there's the doll head.
You are such a prankster. I can't handle it.
Oh my
I would not
goodness.
survive in your home.
Oh, man.
I didn't get to answer my blanket question.
Yes, I want to
sorry.
hear it. That was part of the blanket story.
Was it?
Yeah.
So I have my own blanket, and my husband has his own blanket.
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
Because I want to tuck it under both sides of my body.
Does he help you, like, get it all tucked in, or do you do it?
No, because I don't need anybody to tuck me in at night.
Just kidding.
No.
But she wants you to get tucked in at night.
But I like to roll it under me. I
What?
just do. And so then he would be even...
Like a cocoon.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Okay.
he'd be even more frozen. So he's like, yeah, I'm good not sharing a blanket with you.
So does he have more than one blanket because it's so cold?
No, just one.
Okay. So you each have one blanket.
Mm-hmm. So how do you make a bed when you have two
I was
different
just going to
blankets?
say, how do you?
Lay one down.
And then lay the other one on top of it.
That's too much work. Nobody's in there but us. Who cares? Sorry.
No, it's, all the things.
Yeah.
I could not sleep with a separate blanket, I don't think.
Well, we still snuggle.
No, I don't mean that.
Under the blanket.
Under which blanket?
Depends.
Snuggling under the blanket. Not allowed.
My goodness. So do you think dreams, like, mean something? All this stuff that they're going through. Do you think every dream has, like, an actual meaning, or sometimes we're just wacky?
I don't think they have an actual meeting. I mean, maybe every now and then, but I mean, some of the dreams my kids tell me, I'm like, okay. Like 4 hours later, they're like, and then this happened. I'm like, okay. So, like, I mean, it's crazy how epic my kids' dreams are because they just go on and on and on, and I don't remember my dreams. Very rarely. Sometimes I do, and some are like Sometimes I feel like they're like little God winks every now and then.
Yeah.
So.
Like with your aunt choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dreams have always been really difficult for me because when I was younger, I had terrible dreams and I had reoccurring dreams. And so, like, every time I would close my eyes, I would have the same dream, same spot, same everything. So, like, I was a terrible sleeper as a child and spent most of my nights in my parents' bedroom on the floor. And so, yeah, I don't know. Like, and I don't know why some people have good dreams and some people have a lot of bad dreams. And then some people have the night terrors. I've never had a night terror, thank goodness. But yeah, I don't know.
It's funny because when you think about like Bible stories,
right,
and all like the dreams that are talked about in the Bible, they do have a meaning. And I'm like, I can't imagine asking someone, could you interpret my dream? Right? Like, so my mom left us to marry Zach from Saved by the Bell. What could that mean? Those are the kind of dreams that I've had.
You're like, my husband and I shared one blanket. What does that mean?
Because I have some wacky dreams, like weird stuff.
Can I tell you a really scary dream I had once?
Gosh, what?
I'll never forget this dream. I was dating Lenny. He was youth
pastoring. I need to close my ears.
At our church, maybe? Okay.
I'll be okay.
So anyway, I don't really dream. I mean, I dream, but I don't remember them. Mm-hmm. But I remember being stuck. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to, like, the Judgment House.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I went to that one time. But I was in the room, like the hell room, and I could not get out. I was stuck. Like, I couldn't get out. I couldn't escape it. And I knew I was in this dream. And I kept trying to sing, like, hymns or, like, just cry out to Jesus, and I was stuck. And finally I got out, and it was, like, really late at night. And I called Lenny, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, I just need you to pray. I had this terrible dream. And he goes, that's really weird, because I'm, like, prepping my sermon for spiritual warfare on Thursday. And it was so crazy. I've never experienced anything like that. I'm like, can you stop prepping sermons like that, because I don't want to deal with your spiritual warfare stuff on me?
That's so true.
Yeah, I've had scary dreams like that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And like I said, I've always had scary dreams. I don't think I had any, like, really good dreams. Mm-hmm. So I don't dream right now. Like, I don't remember anything that I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
And does that mean you're not in a deep enough sleep, though?
So I'm going to tell you what I honestly feel about it. I think that I have prayed them away.
Because they were not good.
They were not good for me. And so I remember a specific point in my life where I stopped remembering them. Now, granted, there are some that I remember and things, but I don't have a lot of scary dreams anymore, and I don't have a lot of dreams that I remember. And I just think that my dreams were a lot of spiritual warfare when I was little, which was really scary. Mm-hmm. And so I just prayed them away. And I know that my mom prayed for me a lot. And so, like, when I started praying for myself, that's when they went away. Because, like, I feel like I was like, Jesus is mine. And, you know, my mom could pray for me and all these things. But when I said that Jesus is mine and I believe in him, then I feel like that took those away.
That's probably why you got on your knees and started.
Yeah.
I'm like, we cannot have this. My kid cannot have the dreams that I used to have or anything. Like, petrified dreams. So, yeah, like, kids don't really have them, thank goodness.
Do you ever wake up mad at people? Like your husband, your friends? Because I do.
I have. And
I have
seen
woke up
some
mad at Lenny before.
Funny memes about them.
You don't even know what you did. He's like, but I didn't do it.
And now I'm going to be mad at you all day.
Right.
I feel like I have the dreams. Like, I remember them in the night. Like, if I have to wake up, but then I forget them by morning. But didn't you have a dream about this whole...
Yes. So I want to get to that in 1 second. But first I have to tell you, I did my research about dreams. Like I did about parenting, because I can't help myself. So I, again, don't know if this is accurate, but I found it in more than one place. So I'm just going to tell you what I found. It doesn't mean I know what I'm talking about.
We have never claimed that we're experts.
Yes, except for on parenting. Last week we did. So I found that if you're under more stress and anxiety in your life, you're more likely to dream more often. And if you're having a dream that you're being chased, it says you're trying to avoid things in life or fear.
Like a 5K.
Yeah. Yes.
Just kidding.
I'll chase you with a knife.
If you're falling, it's lack of control. Oh. If you are naked, you're worried about appearance or afraid to reveal imperfections. Oh. If you're flying, I've never flown, you're independent or confident. Like you yourself are flying like a superhero. Whoa. Death is that you're afraid of change. And if you can't speak, it's that you feel ignored or that your opinions don't matter. So, I mean, a lot of stuff, like, I feel like that does apply. Like, when I wake up, a lot of my stuff is fear. Like, stuff that happens to my kids, or somebody gets taken, or my husband ticks me off some way, or, like, all these different things. Usually, it is fear, or loss, or change, or something that you go to bed thinking about, or you're struggling with, or, like, that's what follows us.
Interesting. Have you ever heard that, like, if you have somebody dies in your dream, then somebody must be pregnant?
I actually read that. Yeah.
Like, I used to be like, who's pregnant? Like, or, like, vice versa. If somebody's pregnant, then somebody's going to die. But it's interesting.
Yeah. So Kelly brought up our good dream.
Yes.
My good dream,
Your
not
dream,
our good dream.
Not my dream.
So sometimes I think they have meaning. So like you said, the dream that you had was linked to what Lenny was preaching about. Like, some of that stuff is legit. And I think God gives you winks or could speak to you through different dreams. But I also sometimes feel like other confirmation would come with it before I feel like I could understand what the dream is or why. So when you talk to him, you got confirmation what that dream was about. So I had a dream not that long ago. I was watching this show, and it was these three friends who worked at a magazine company, and they were publishers and social media people and all these different things, but they're always like collaborating together, but they also like just have a really good friendship, and they're all different and unique in their own way, and it was just really entertaining to watch. And I had just told Crystal and Kelly that the show reminded me of us. And so then I had a dream one night that I was collaborating with Crystal on writing, and it was odd, and I thought about telling you about it, but then I don't think I brought it up. The very next day, Crystal told me she went to a class on Zoom, and I ended up asking her what the class was about, I think just through text messages.
Yep.
And she told me it was about blogging, and I was like, what the heck? Like, that is weird. So I called her, and I'm like, I had a dream last night that we were collaborating on writing. Like, what in the heck is that about? And so in that conversation, we were like, we are supposed to blog, or we're supposed to podcast.
Do something.
And Kelly the Whimsy just gets dragged into this.
I was like, I'm sure I had that dream too. I just don't remember.
You forgot about it.
I forgot about it.
I think we went through like multiple phases in like 30 seconds of being like, are we supposed to write a book together? Am I supposed to edit something? Are we supposed to do a blog together? Are we supposed podcast? Let's do it, because we can collaborate and do it together. And Kelly's coming in as our third friend.
And what's super cool is I really believe that with one of us missing from this, it wouldn't work the same. So to me, like, that dream was actually like a God thing. I feel like what you went to, the class, was confirmation, and I don't know. It just was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. I remember when you asked me and I told you, and it didn't really, for me, it didn't faze me anything. And then you called me and you were like, I just had this dream.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
So what I think is funny is God gave us both confirmation, but not Kelly.
Yes.
Because she just was going to be better at it than us anyway, and we needed we needed convincing that this was a God thing.
Yes. Well, why do we need to do this? So we went with that, and Kelly just came along.
She's like, okay, and I'm amazing,
and I'm the best podcaster there is.
She doesn't say that, but we do. She's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
So I think that's a wrap on today's journey through our world of sleep. Until next time, here's to wishing you peaceful slumbers and sweet dreams. Good night from the calm, the storm, and the whimsy. Thank you for listening to the Calm, the Storm, the Whimsy podcast. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Stay tuned for our next episode. So I'm ready when you are. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So how was everybody's week this week? Oh, that was stupid.
How was everybody's week this week?
Oh, it really wasn't stupid.
It wasn't.
I'll make it sound stupid.
Oh, no.
Okay.